What up, it's Red, and I'm back with the top 5 best and worst features about the brand new Call of Duty World at War Zombies map, Shi No Numa. So the reason I say brand new is because we like to imagine that we are back back June 2009 when this map first came out. What were the great things that they introduced and what were the bad things they introduced? So we're not going to be saying, oh, there's no pack-a-punch or anything like that. That's not how the series works. Anything that's new, that's awesome, or new that's terrible, and there's really not much new things in this. Like it really took me a lot to think of 5 things that I didn't like about this map because there was a lot of great things introduced. So the number 5 thing for what we don't like is the fact that you can get a Colt out of the box. The Colt pistol, you can get it right out of the box, and on any other map this would have been awesome. If there was a pack-a-punch, if you could get the Colt out of the box on Origins, that'd be awesome, because then you could get Mustang and Sally on Origins, But Shi No Numa is the one map they have the Colt in the box, and there's no reason to have it in the box, because if you get it, you can't pack-a-punch, you can't do anything with it. I mean, you're pretty much just shooting zombies to get points with it. That's all you're getting a Colt for. It's the only thing it's good for, really, unless you're on round like 1 or 3. So like I said, the one map that they decided to put the Colt on was the map that does not yet have a pack-a-punch. The number 5 thing that we do like about Shi No Numa is the fact that achievements were introduced, or achievements/trophies were introduced in Shi No Numa. They were very basic achievements. Like I remember one of them was like get a nuke when there's only one zombie left in the round. And then there was like get so many headshots in a game or something like that. They were very simple zombies achievements. They really didn't have anything to do with the map. So if we went back to like May or whenever the trailer was released in 2009 and looked at, oh, the achievements are out, guys. What are the achievements? Oh, get so many headshots. There's no like spoiler achievements there, like with Die Rise. Face the dragon on round 1 was one of the achievements, and all you had to do was go up to some like little picture of a dragon or whatever. It was one of those little things on that building, and everybody thought there was going to be a dragon in that map that you had to fight, but there wasn't. So they know we like to look at achievements, so they come up with some interesting achievements now. But back then, Shi No Numa, they did start the achievements for zombies. These were the first set of achievements for zombies ever, so that's going to be number 5. Number 4 is the fact that the lift, the zip line, it's 1,500 points, and it doesn't really take you anywhere. So they introduced the zip line, but it's 1,500 points, and it just takes you from like such a small area. Like if you're at doctor's quarters and you really need to get up to the main area camp spot, because that's actually a decent camp spot. If you get a couple guys on the windows, you throw a whole bunch of Bettys up there, you got like a little spot to jump down on the zip line, and then you got that staircase that some people can watch. You never open that door right there next to the upstairs mystery box. You never want to open that door, by the way. Pro tip for you. But why are we charging 1,500 points for that? It doesn't make any sense. Number 4 on the things that we do like is the characters. Now, characters were introduced in Verrückt, but I feel like I definitely need to say something about the characters in this map because these are the staple characters of zombies. These are the characters we all know and love. There has never been a better set of characters, and they just had to bring them back at the end of Black Ops 2 because people were mad that they did not have them anywhere in Black Ops 2 until the very end. They introduced all those stupid characters back in Transit, Die Rise, Barry. Those characters were terrible, and I really think that the original characters are the really only good set of characters. I mean, Call of the Dead was alright. You had that annoying Sarah girl who was, oh, the fog. And then you had the 5 characters could get kind of annoying because they really didn't have very many lines. They just pretty much said the same stuff over and over. Mob of the Dead had some kind of cool characters, but there's no debating that the original characters are definitely the best, and I'm so glad they introduced the characters in this, and they introduced kind of the whole storyline when Shi No Numa came out, is when the whole zombie storyline kind of became a thing. For number 3 on the things that we don't like, and remember I had a really tough time trying to come up with some things that were really bad about this map, but number 3 is trying to go prone under the stupid Flogger. I don't know if it's this way in Black Ops 1, but I know in World at War, whenever you tried to prone under that Flogger, it would always just somehow get you down. Like you were supposed to be able to go prone under it, but there was always that good chance that you would get down while you went under it. Like it just would register as like a kill for some reason. It would just kill you trying to go under that thing. I don't know why. I always tried to do it, and it seemed to get me down much more than I actually was able to successfully go under it. So I don't know if there's a trick or something to get under there, but all I know is that going under the Flogger does not always work. The number 3 best feature of Shi No Numa is the fact that they introduced special types of rounds, like dogs. Dogs are what they introduced in Shi No Numa. I love how they introduced that. You get a max ammo every 4 rounds. It's awesome. You're not just fighting zombies the whole time. They later on introduced, you know, monkeys, and then the Pentagon Thief, and then they had the crawlers, or whatever they're called, the jumping jacks, I think, from Die Rise. They really haven't seemed to really do any of that recently, except for Die Rise. That was really the only recent map since Ascension where they actually had a sort of bonus round like this. So I hope they kind of start doing that again. I really like the little bonus round thing. The number 2 thing that we don't like is the water. Now, the water is kind of cool that it makes it slow you down and it makes it a little more difficult, so it's harder to run around. So I don't really know if this belongs on the bad side of the list, but I really couldn't think of anything else. So I'm going to say that the water kind of gets annoying sometimes. Like you're trying to run your little pathway around the comm room or whatever, so you can run a train over there, because that's pretty much the best solo strategy. As far as I know, sometimes I like to train around kind of probably where you're seeing me in this video. Train a little bit up towards the opening area of comm room. That's also a good spot. But it always seems like somehow, even when I go somewhere that I think isn't slowed down by the water, like it's just shallow enough to where you can run normally in it, it still slows me down for some reason. So the water, it's cool, but it just gets kind of annoying sometimes. Time to contradict myself with number 2, and that is actually transportation. Now, I know I criticized the zip line for being 1,500 points and taking you almost nowhere, but it is an introduction into zombies, and where would we be without transportation now? I mean, we've had everything from teleporters to landers to elevators, tanks, buses. We've had a gondola, which is sort of like the zipline from Shi No Numa, just bigger. And then we've had actual zip lines that you can zipline down on. We've had things that fling you across the map, including the trample steam and the flinger from the Call of the Dead. We had the slide. We've had a few slides. And then what else is there? Oh, yeah. Shangri-La had a whole bunch of fun stuff. I love Shangri-La, one of my favorite maps. By the way, if you don't know my favorite maps, make sure to go watch my top 16 favorite zombie map video. It should be in the description if I remember. It's pretty good. You get to see all my opinions. It's a long video, so you can just kind of chill out, play some zombies and listen to it. So make sure to go check that out if you haven't. So transportation was cool, but getting into the number 1 worst thing about Shi No Numa, and again, this really isn't that bad, but zombies are coming from the ground now. They're coming in from the swamp, crawling up, and the zombies, I actually learned this as I was reading the wiki today. I was kind of looking at the zombies wiki for Shi No Numa, just because I was trying to think of some things that weren't very good about Shi No Numa. And I learned that the zombies that spawn in the swamp actually run faster. They just run normal speed in the swamp. But zombies that spawn in elsewhere will get slowed down when they're in the swamp. So that's some information for you if you didn't know that. I just learned that a little while ago. But this is the first map where zombies do not come from some sort of a barrier, which can be good or bad, just kind of depending on what you like. A few honorable mentions is the Flogger. The Flogger's cool, but like I said, it's really hard to prone under, but it does fling the zombies all around, and it's really fun to see them get flung across the map. Peter is another thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about by Peter, he's the guy hanging from the ceiling in the starting room over in the corner, sort of where the door is. And in World at War, I don't know if you can do this in Black Ops 1, but in World at War, if you were able to knock him down with a grenade or something like that, like if you could knock him down, usually you had to kind of blow him up and try and swing him around and get him hung up on top of the railing right there, and he would kind of tilt over and fall down. If you could actually knock him down, he would, if you went up to him, he would kill you. So if you just stood next to his body laying on the ground, you would like fall down and die. Like you wouldn't just disappear and the game ended. Like people would actually, we'd go up to this back in World at War. We'd think it was awesome. And you just kind of like fall down and then it would kind of fade out and then go back to round 1. So that was kind of funny. That was the, I guess that's kind of the first time bomb, if you will, before buried. So the old school time bomb is Peter hanging from the ceiling. I love that little Easter egg. And just little Easter eggs like that are really cool, and that's really what zombies comes from. Another honorable mention is the light. The light from the mystery box was not new in Verrucht. It was actually new in Shi No Numa, which is kind of unfortunate because in Verrucht, you kind of have to run all the way across the map just to kind of figure out where the mystery box went. But in Shi No Numa, you are able to just look up in the sky and see where the mystery box went, which is really helpful. I'm glad they introduced the light. Now, the number one thing that we like the most about Shi No Numa is, of course, the Wonder Waff. The introduction of wonder weapons into zombies is amazing. The Wonder Waff is always going to be the staple wonder weapon. They brought it back in Call of the Dead. I'm sure they'll probably bring it back again at some point. The lightning staff even had sort of a Wonder Waff effect when you charged it up. It also had like a zap gun effect if you just single shot it. So the staffs were the sort of like a remake of some of the wonder weapons, like the Winter's Howl for the ice, and then the Thunder Gun for the wind. Fire didn't really have anything, I guess. But yeah, the Wonder Waff in Shi No Numa was pretty awesome. It's going to wrap it up for the Shi No Numa video. Let me know if you're excited for ReDStrukk. Let me know what you loved and hated about Shi No Numa. But no matter what you tell me, make sure you tell me something in the comments, because I gotta read your comments. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys later.